Okay, I thought I'd try and explain a little bit more about what it is we're actually doing on this job. The customer has recently just bought this place, and his old house had a system called Lutron. Now we deal in Lutron. There's two different systems within the Lutron infrastructure, or the ecosystem if you like. One of those is homeowners QS and one of those is RA2, and the customer wanted to integrate the lights, wanted to get some lighting control, and they're going to be adding it in a theatre / media room later in the year, and they want to do some blinds as well. So we could have just used the RA2 system, which would have worked fine, but it would have meant that we were sort of limited with what we could integrate into it later on down the track. So what we're actually installing is a homeworks QS system, which is basically a processor, and then everything else in the house is going to be wireless devices. So we've got what's called a hybrid repeater, which sends out our wireless signal to our keypads, which are wireless, and then to inline drivers. Now the inline drivers, they go inline, as you would expect, with the light fittings, the existing light fittings, as long as they're dimmable, which we'd recommend they should be dimmable, with Lutron especially. We can then control and add to scenes and create scenes and schedules and bring it all into the Lutron system, use the app, use the keypad, and then further down the track integrate it with the lights, the shades, and some audio, whatever the client wants to do later on. We've got options there. So I just thought I'd show you a bit of the job. So this is a very basic sort of setup. What we've got is just got our Lutron power supply and our homeworks QSX processor, 2-link processor. And then we've just got our Lutron cable here, which goes upstairs, and our data feed. Now you can get Lutron enclosures, and that was our original plan, but because where we're going to end up putting the enclosure when the job's finished, we've just gone with a PDL switchboard just to save on some cost. Plus this is actually more enclosed. This is underneath the house, but it's nice and dry under here. Eventually this is going to move upstairs, which I'll show you, and it will go into a panel there. And then what we're doing later in the week on the flip side of this here is we'll have our data rack again. That's going to move upstairs once the theatre room is sort of ready to go. So I'll show you upstairs. So this will eventually be the media room or theatre room, and there's sort of a bedroom in here, and in there wardrobes are coming out, and our rack and everything's going to sit in there. So eventually the panel will go there, or we've got a cupboard in here, and it's going to sit in here when this goes out. So following on from downstairs, I'll show you where that Lutron cable goes. And it goes to our hybrid repeater here, which sends out our wireless signal. We've left a lot of length on there just in case we had to move it, but the signal works out great, so we'll actually just mount it in that cupboard in there somewhere when we're finished. So what the hybrid repeater does is it gives us a wireless signal, which then talks to our wireless devices. So what we like to do is we like to stick a lead on them, stick a surface socket in the roof space, just so that if we ever need to come back to service, we can just pull the whole thing out, take the first light out of the circuit, and we can work on it. It's just a bit easier than hard wiring. That's actually how we do all of our downlights anyways. We do leads, so that if we ever need to service anything, we can just pull them out. And then what we do is we label it all as well. The reason why we label it is because on the back of here, the serial number goes into the programming software, and that serial number needs to go to the correct light. If you get them round the wrong way, then obviously when we program it, say if it's a kitchen light and we program it wrong with the master bedroom light, or we install these wrong, then you press the kitchen light and the master bedroom light comes on. So it's about doing your prep first and then installing, and going from there. And then what we like to do is we like to let the clients use the system on the app first, which I'll show you the app, and then let them use the app for a few weeks, and then once they've lived with the system, we then come back, we sit down, we do the keypads, and we fine-tune scenes, etc. Now the other good thing with the homework system and doing the wireless is that we can do customizable keypads, so we can have customizable engraving to any of the keypads, whereas if we just went with a fully wireless RA2 system, then the client would be stuck with the standard keypads. Now they might not be relevant to his house, or he might not like them, or they might not like them, sorry. So we like to get our clients on a homework system, and then if we need to use wireless, we've then got the control and we've got the customizable sort of functionality, which that's why you're paying for Lutron, you're paying for that premium product. So let's do a premium job, and that's what we try and do.